Hey everybody on YouTube, this is Kyle Snyder once again, aka Clipton, and I know it's been a long time since I've done a top 10 list as far as the NFL is concerned, but I felt it was about time I did yet another one. As we all know, the regular season is going to begin next week, with the Ravens versus the Broncos kicking off the season. And like most people, they're making predictions as to who has the best chance of making it to the Super Bowl. I'm betting that it's going to be the Denver Broncos and the San Francisco 49ers that are going to have the best chance to make it to the Super Bowl. So I figured that I've been doing some thinking, and I've noticed that on NFL Network they've done some top 10 lists for certain teams, like top 10 Steelers, top 10 Raiders, top 10 Cowboys, top 10 Packers, but they still haven't done a top 10 episode of top 10 San Francisco 49ers. So, in honor of the 49ers, I've decided to do a top 10 list of the top 10 San Francisco 49ers of all time. And it doesn't matter if you are a coach or a player on the team. All you have to do to qualify to make this list, play at least one season and be known for greatness. So here we go. Top 10 San Francisco 49ers of all time. Number 10, Jim Harbaugh. Yes, he's only been a coach for the 49ers for 2 seasons, but what he's done in those 2 seasons is absolutely amazing. I mean, he took a team that just hasn't been the same since Steve Young left and just completely turned it around. I mean, his first season, he made it all the way to the NFC Championship, and his second season, he made it to the Super Bowl, only to lose to his older brother John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. But there's no doubt that Jim Harbaugh has a bright coaching future ahead of him, and he'll no doubt one day win the Super Bowl, which will probably be this season, but who can say? Anyways, number 9, Brent Jones. Not many people know about Brent Jones, but he was one of the all-time greatest tight ends that ever played for the 49ers, setting many franchise records. I mean, yes, Vernon Davis is getting up there to being the best tight end in San Francisco 49er history, but Brent Jones played a significant role in helping the Niners win a few Super Bowls, and not many people know about him, but because he holds many tight end records for the 49ers, I figured I had to put him on this list. Number 8, Terrell Owens. Many people know Terrell Owens for his antics, for his end zone celebrations, for how he was, for the catch two, at least being half of the catch two, the other half being Steve Young. But anyways, I figured I had to put him on this list. Yes, he was not the best wide receiver ever in the history of the 49ers, but nevertheless, he still was a significant one and well-deserving to be on the top 10 49ers of all time. I mean, a lot of 49er fans are probably saying, well, I'm glad he's gone, but there was once a time where that wasn't such the case. Anyways, number 7, Deion Sanders. Yes, I know he only played for 1 season for the 49ers, but that 1 season that he played for the 49ers was one of the best seasons of his entire career. I mean, he helped the 49ers big time in the 1994 season to get to Super Bowl 29 and to win it all in dominant fashion over the San Diego Chargers. And there was even a time where he played receiver at some point in the Super Bowl, even though he probably wasn't the best performance as a wide receiver, but as a defensive back, he lit it up like no other defensive back could. Anyways, number 6, Roger Craig, one of the most underrated running backs in the history of the NFL. I mean, not a lot of people know who he is, and it's one of the reasons why he's so underrated. It's because a lot of attention during the 80s of the Niners, it went to Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and Ronnie Lott and Bill Walsh and all them, and Roger Craig never really got a whole lot of credit. I mean, he was the main running back for the San Francisco 49ers for a major part of the 80s. It's too bad that he didn't really get too much recognition, but he's recognized to me as one of the top 10 49ers. Number 5, Ronnie Lott, one of the most dangerous tacklers, one of the most feared defensive backs that ever played in the history of not just the 49ers, but the NFL. I mean, he had a very tough, very mean demeanor about him. I mean, nothing could prevent him. I mean, you could try to hurt him, but he'd just keep coming back for more. There was even a time where part of his finger got broken up so bad, he was like, I'm cutting it off and I'm going back into the game. And it's like, if a player's willing to sacrifice part of his finger just to get back into a game, you know that that player is feared, and one you really gotta not take lightly. So Ronnie Lott, just no doubt he earned, he paid the price to get to the Hall of Fame, literally and figuratively. Let's see, number 4, Bill Walsh, the innovator of the West Coast offense. Bill Walsh made the Niners who they were in the 80s. The West Coast offense, with all the improv plays and all the unpredictability, he brought a lot to the table as far as San Francisco coaching was concerned, and it really helped to boost the careers of many San Francisco players, like Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and all them. Bill Walsh was no doubt the greatest coach that ever coached for the San Francisco 49ers. Number 3, Steve Young. Steve Young, the greatest left-handed quarterback in the history of the NFL. For much of his career, he was in the shadow of Joe Montana, and he really wanted to get out of that shadow big time, and he finally was able to do so in Super Bowl 29, where he broke Joe Montana's record of most touchdowns thrown in a Super Bowl with 6 touchdowns. Probably could have thrown many more, but we'll never know. I mean, no doubt he still gave the San Diego Chargers an embarrassing loss in Super Bowl 29. And he continues to hold many records. I believe he still holds the record for highest quarterback rating in career-wise out of all quarterbacks. And he definitely earned his spot the hard way on this top 10 list and in the NFL Hall of Fame. Number 2, Joe Montana. No doubt one of the most legendary quarterbacks that ever played in the National Football League. Joe Montana, there are many great games that he played. The Catch, Super Bowl 23, Super Bowl 24. The list goes on and on and on, but he definitely was a first-year ballot Hall of Famer, and I know a lot of people out there who are watching this video right now are saying, how dare you put Joe Montana at number 2? He deserves to be number 1. Well, there's a reason why Joe Montana is not number 1, because number 1 is Jerry Rice, the greatest player who ever played in the NFL, the greatest wide receiver of all time. He holds a whole bunch of records at wide receiver thanks to Joe Montana and Steve Young. I mean, you cannot ask for a better wide receiver in the history of the entire NFL. I mean, he held many records. Most receiving yards, most touchdown receptions. He did at one point have the most receiving yards in a single season. That is until Calvin Johnson of the Detroit Lions broke that record. But no doubt there is no denying that Jerry Rice is the greatest wide receiver to ever play in the NFL. And in my opinion, the greatest player who ever played in the NFL. So that's my top 10 list of the San Francisco 49ers of all time. Thank you very much for watching. And be sure to keep watching for more videos, more top 10 lists, and I look forward to the 2013 NFL season.